You are now listening to the smooth sensations and high vibrations of Alex, host of the best relationship channel on YouTube. Alex, drop them gems on us.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Shout out to the Elite Fleet. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can become a member of the Elite Fleet. And I got asked a question, and I was like, let me make a video about this question. Hopefully I remember everything I want to say, because I got a lot I want to say about this. And I'm not even going to read the context, because I don't need the context. I'm just going to read the main question, and I'm going to answer it. As always, let me tell you guys really quick, if you have a question that you want to ask me, and you want me to answer it in video form, my email's in the description. Alright, if you have a relationship question or a dating question that you want to ask me that's a little bit more personal and private, you can also book a consultation through that same email, and I'll call you and we can have a conversation off the records about it, alright? But he just asked the question in general, so I'm going to answer it. Like I said, I'm skipping all the context because I don't think the context is necessary. He said, my girlfriend told me she's an alpha female. Should I stay with her? My answer is no. I don't need the context, sir. No. Soon as I heard the word alpha female, get out of there if you're smart. Get out of here if you're smart. There's only one scenario, and I still don't recommend this scenario, but there is only one scenario where I would say it's kind of safe to get with an alpha female. I'm going to explain that at the end of the video. But for right now, I'm going to explain to you all the reasons why this is a bad idea, and I'm telling you not to do it, okay? Number one, there's no such thing as an alpha female. Let it breathe, run it back. I said there is no such thing as an alpha female. If you look up alpha male, right, you will see there's an Oxford Dictionary definition for alpha male. There is a Merriam-Webster definition for alpha male because it's a real word. An alpha male is the dominant male, the leader of the pack. All right, that the family, the pack of wolves, the pack of lions, the company, whoever follows this man. All right, he's the dominant leader that everyone looks up to and they follow his instructions. Does not mean they don't have a say, but he makes the final say. All right, I tell you guys all the time, when you're in a relationship with a woman and it's in order, your woman is like your counsel. She's like your vice president, right? She's like your second in command. So you might get confused on a decision. You might need some of her context, and she might give you some context. But ultimately, whatever you decide is what she's going to rock with because she rocks with her man. The same as a company. A CEO has an executive board, guys. Right? And he discusses what he thinks with his executive board, and they give him their opinions. But ultimately, he makes the final decision. Whatever he decides to do, they back him because he's the CEO or he's the owner. Alright? So that's how a relationship that's in balance would actually work. Now, if you look up the definition of an alpha female, what you will find is the first thing that will pop up is a WikiHow definition. And then when you look under that, you'll see a bunch of blogs and articles from feminist websites. But you won't see an Oxford Dictionary definition, and you will not see a Merriam-Webster definition. You want to know why? Because there is no such thing as alpha female. It's a new word that modern women, third and fourth wave feminists made up. It does not exist. That's why you can't find an actual definition for it. And it's disrespectful to women. And here's why it's disrespectful to women. Because they define alpha women as successful, rich women who are not afraid to step up into positions of leadership and blah, blah, blah. First of all, that's not what an alpha is. An alpha male doesn't have to have money. You can be broke and be an alpha male. You can be broke and be a dominant. You can be broke and be a leader. Just like you can be rich and be a chump. You can be rich and be a follower. It happens all the time. So they don't even know what you're talking about. But the reason that I'm saying that it's disrespectful to women is because now you're making it seem like a woman is not rich or successful or a leader unless she's an alpha female and she's dominant and wants to be the leader of the pack. And that's not true. There are plenty of women who have a bunch of money and are in leadership positions at their job or workplace who come home and are nurturing, caring, loving, submissive wives who follow the order of their husbands. So for you to say that, you're making it seem like any woman who doesn't identify as an alpha female is just some broke loser, damsel in distress looking for some man to come save her, and that's not true. Now that we got out of the way, that's not even a real word, I want you to understand what a woman's really telling you when she tells you she's alpha female. What she's telling you is, I run this. What she's telling you is, I'm not going to be submissive. What she's telling you is, I'm going to dominate you. What she's telling you is, I'm going to lead you. What she's telling you is, I run this. Now, here's the other problem with that. There's a lot of problems with this. I'm about to cook up. The next problem with this mindset is an alpha female, by definition, should be looking for a man, right, who wants to be led. This would be a more effeminate male, like a metrosexual or something like that. Like a male who's more in his feminine, right? Who's more like soft, not as assertive, you know what I mean? Not as dominant, kind of needs some guidance a little bit, but he's still attractive or he still makes good money or something like that. But what you will come to find out is alpha females resent these types of men. 95% of the videos you will see with modern women talking about how modern men are so damn sassy are going to be made by alpha females. So you guys have to understand, if you become the man who actually could date an alpha female, who she actually should be in a relationship with, she won't even get in a relationship with you because you're not dominant, because you're not a leader, because you're not an alpha male. Alpha females, stupidly, by the way, seem to think, I need to get with an alpha male. I'm going to get with an alpha male, and this will be great because we're both strong and assertive and leaders and dominants, and we can be a power couple. But it's not going to work like that. Because for you to be a power couple with a man, you need to be a successful, smart woman, yes, right? But you need to know your role. You still need to be feminine, nurturing, caring, submissive, cook, clean. You still need to be a woman. You still need to be soft. So the problem is alpha women aren't soft by their own definition. I need you guys to understand this, right? They're rich, they're powerful, they're dominant. So what you got to understand is if you get an alpha male and you put this alpha male with an alpha female, this is a terrible pairing because all they're going to do is clash 24/7. Listen, guys, I've dealt with alpha females before. Not on purpose, on accident. It ain't gonna work. Any other alpha male, if you ask him the same thing, we're gonna leave room for error, right? 9 out of 10, I'm gonna say that. 9 out of 10 alpha males will tell you the same thing. You're not gonna be able to date an alpha woman because everything's gonna be a battle. You cannot have two leaders. I said this before, I'm saying it again. You have one president of the United States, not two. You have one head coach, not two head coaches. All right, you have one CEO, not dual CEOs. Now you have an assistant head coach, a vice president, as I mentioned earlier, a COO, but you cannot have two leaders. Two leaders doesn't work. Someone has to be the decision maker. When both people want to make the decision, that just leads to arguments and bickering. An alpha female gets with an alpha male, it can only really end in two ways. Best case scenario, he's just going to break up with her. All right? Middle case scenario, he's going to stay with her for some dumb reason, but they're going to argue and bicker and fight and curse each other out and probably cheat on each other all the time. And in the absolute worst case scenario, he's probably going to beat her up because he's going to get tired of her. You can't have two leaders of the pack. All right? And let me tell you guys something. Alpha females are just confused. They're out of order because, like I said, going back to before, the type of men they should date, they don't even want. When you allow them to lead, they resent it. Go back to what I said about the one time I dated an alpha female, right? She always was trying to control stuff. Every time I would try to plan something, she would try to take it over, just run the whole thing. So at a certain point, right, I did a test. I said, okay, she wanted to plan the trip. I fell back. I said nothing. I did nothing. I said, so let me know when it's done. Let me know how much it costs. Right? And she kept reaching out to me, what do you think about these 3 places? Okay, well, I kind of like that place. Well, what do you think the budget, what do you think the budget is? You let me know what the budget is. You let me know what to do. And you know what happened? It never happened. The trip was never planned. Right? And after this, I did that same experiment like 2-3 more times with this woman. And eventually she came up to me and she said, well, how come, you just let me be in charge of it? How come you're not helping? I said, you said you wanted to be in charge. When I told you I will take care of it, you kept wanting to run it. So I let you run it. And you know what she said to me? And you can't make this up, and this is a joke. She said, look, I know my personality and my demeanor can make it seem like I want to run everything or like I want to take the lead or be in charge, but I really don't. I want help. I just don't know how to ask for it. And this is why I tell you to avoid them. This is how I tell you to avoid them. I'm mature enough and alpha enough to know 95% of alpha females, no matter what they say, they still want to be dominated. They still want you to lead. But they don't know how to follow and be submissive. Because again, no one taught them that when they were growing up. So it's going to be bickering and fighting. Can you, as an alpha male, still lead an alpha female? Yes. But you're going to get tired of having to bicker and fight and put her in her place every single time. Yeah, you can do it, but who the hell wants to do that? Especially when you can just find a feminine woman who's not going to argue and bicker with you. It does not make sense. Here's the third reason why it doesn't work. Yes, I told you I'm about to cook in this video. It doesn't work from a financial perspective. What do you mean, Alex? Again, going back to my theme in this entire video. Alpha females are out of order. They're not in balance. So they're like 50% man, 50% woman. It's not like they're 100% men. That's what you have to understand. What does that have to do with finances, Alex? Simple. An alpha woman is still going to want a provider. You cannot be a provider for an alpha woman. Let it breathe, run it back. Alpha women are still going to want to be provided for. A man cannot provide for an alpha woman. Alright? And here's why. When you're an alpha woman, that means you put yourself in position to go out in the society and be rich and successful and dominant and a leader and in leadership and all these different things, right? Now we know women tend, right, to go, so for the sake of this conversation, let's just assume that this woman makes $100,000. $130,000, I'm sorry, $130,000. That's the number I'm going to go with, right? Follow what I'm saying here. This is very important from a financial standpoint. Somebody timestamp this for me. So we know women tend to go for office jobs or safer jobs or something in the like the medical field or things of that nature, right? So the likelihood a woman went to trade school to become an electrician, you know what I mean, or a welder, or got her CDLs or something like that is slim to none. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. I'm saying it's slim to none. And 9 out of 10 times you ain't gonna make six figure in cosmetology, right? So most women who are six-figure earners, it's safe to assume that they went to college and they went into the STEM field, science, technology, engineering, and math. And I call the M math and medical, because to me, math and medical is the same thing. Or she went to law school, something like that. You can look up the statistics. Most women who are six-figure earners work in data or technology, right? They work in the medical field, or they're lawyers, or they're engineers, or something like that. Now, why is that important? Simple. Because guess what? Women dwarf men in student loan debt. Pay attention to everything I'm saying to y'all. The best gems come for those who stay to the end. Women dwarf men in student loan debt. Why is that important, Alex? Simple. Because for a woman, right, to make $130,000 in those fields, 9 out of 10 times, she has a master's degree. Or she has a law degree. Or she has a degree in medicine. Which means her student loan debt is going to be in 6 figures, right? What else do most alpha women and boss chicks tend to do? Well, we know the trend right now is I'm a boss chick. I'm going to go and buy me a house. So now she already has $100,000 or more of student loan debt. Just bring out a calculator right now. Now she's going to go and buy a house. Statistically speaking, if a woman is making 6 figures or more, she probably lives in New York City, she probably lives in California, right? Or she lives in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, or she lives in Houston. Statistically speaking, you might, or Atlanta. I'm sorry, I forgot about Atlanta. Or Atlanta, right? Here's the thing. In those places, in those cities, buying houses are ridiculously expensive. Unless you got lucky and she's in Houston. And Atlanta is not terrible, but it's getting up there. But if she's in New York, she's in LA or California, she's in the DMV, those houses are expensive. Why are you bringing that out, Alex? Simple. Because most women, when they want to be a boss chick and buy a house, they ain't buying single family homes because they can't afford them. You're going to need damn near $1 million, right? That's $1 million of debt. Banks won't clear them for a single family home. So what they're going to do most of the time is buy what they call starter homes. So they're going to go out and get them a townhouse or something like that, right? That's probably going to be $500,000, $600,000. So now she has a townhouse, that's not big enough for a family and not her dream home, because she's waiting on you to buy her dream home, and she ain't have enough sense to just keep renting until you came so y'all could buy the house together, because she wanted to be a boss chick and get attention. So she went out and bought a house before you came. So now she has $100,000 in student loan debt, and she has a $600,000 to $800,000 townhome. She has almost $1 million worth of debt before you even come into the picture. Right? And when you get with her, she's going to want to get a single family home and start nesting and having babies. Why does all this matter, Alex? Simple. If a woman has $700,000 worth of debt, don't let me forget, she got to go out and buy her Mercedes C-Class or her BMW E-Class. I forgot about that. She's not the boss chick or alpha female without those two, so she got to do that too. So she got this expensive-ass luxury car, this house, a whole house, and hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loan debt before you even get there. Almost $1 million worth of debt. How the hell are you going to be a provider for a woman who has $1 million worth of debt before you get with her? Let it breathe, run it back. How the hell are you going to be a provider for a woman who has $1 million worth of debt before you even get to her? You can't. For you to be a provider for a woman who has all this stuff before you come, you're going to have to be damn near a millionaire. You're going to have to make her $130,000, because you got to understand, when a woman makes $130,000, she's probably going to have $130,000 salary worth of bills, which means you got $130,000 salary too, right? You're her match. You're her equal partner. That ain't enough money to be her provider. You're going to need $400,000 to $1 million to be able to pay for all this shit that she's accumulated, plus all the stuff that you have, because you have your own stuff too. Now, I'm going to tell you this about men. We have less student debt than women, and men tend to not buy houses when they don't have a family and they're not married, unless they're in property development or real estate, which is different, because at that point you're renting them out. Men don't start nesting without their woman. Men don't put a whole bunch of debt on themselves. Women spend money. You give her $100,000, she can buy a house, so she's going to do it. She can get a Mercedes, so she's going to get it. You got to get what I'm saying? Men don't think like that. We trying to save, we trying to invest, we're playing it smart, right? So you got to have that much money to be able to be a provider for this woman. It's damn near impossible. You can't do it. The 10% man is not even good enough for alpha woman. She needs a 1% man. That's what she needs. But the problem is she can't get a 1% man because she don't know how to shut up. She don't know how to She don't know how to give and take. She don't know how to let her man be a man. You understand what I'm saying? Again, it goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of the video, right? She don't want a man who lives the soft life and lets her lead, but she also don't know how to let the man lead. She's out of order. This is a headache. It is not going to work. So what's going to happen, what an alpha woman should know before she even goes into a relationship, is that any relationship she gets in, the best thing she can hope for is a 50-50 partner. That should be a win for her, because it's still relieving her of some of this debt. But they delusionally still want to be taken care of. Even though everything that they've done in their lives to this point works against having a man come and take care of you. Women who desire to be taken care of don't go and buy houses. It doesn't make sense to do that. They don't go and get Mercedes C-Classes. It does not make sense to do that. They don't accumulate hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. That's not what women who desire to be housewives do. Let me tell y'all another gem. Most women who are housewives, right? They come from another country, right? You might see a dude who's from Russia who lives in America now, right? He might go back to Russia and get him a woman. She don't got student loan debt. She don't got no Mercedes. She ain't got no house. So it's easy to take care of her. He might go back to Africa and get a woman, or go back to the Dominicano or Republicano and bring his woman over. You get what I'm saying? Most housewives are women who were brought to this country by their men. Or they're women who were raised in money, right? And they got old money, so their fathers or their families already know who they're going to kind of marry her off to. A lot of y'all don't know how rich people work. A lot of these women who are housewives, they were born in the money. Their mother was a housewife. They have a system. They keep old money in the family. So they already know what families are producing sons who are going to marry their daughters. So they just train their daughters to prepare to be housewives from the beginning. Their daughters don't have this much debt. Again, in other cultures, I'll even give white women and stuff like that this. They understand when I make the decision to be an alpha female, I need to look for a partner, not a provider. But a lot of women nowadays don't even understand that. They still want a provider. So what happens is, even if you get with them and you make $200,000, because they still have to help you pay bills, they're going to start to resent you. So every time you try to set a standard or lead or lay a law, she can be like, you don't tell me what to do. You don't pay all the bills here. I pay bills here too. You can't tell me nothing. And y'all going to clash. And even if you do pay all the bills, most alpha females became alpha females so that they always had their own specifically, so they never had to listen to you. So even if you happen to be a millionaire and you pay all the bills, she's still gonna tell you I don't gotta listen to you because she got her own damn money and she's gonna divorce you and take part of yours. It doesn't make sense. Does not work. Alright, so from a definition of what an alpha female is, it doesn't work. Alright, from a functionality and a relationship standpoint, it does not work. And from a financial standpoint, it doesn't work. Unless the woman just accepts being a partner. But I'm going to tell you right now, most of the rich and successful women who accept being a 50-50 partner is because they're still feminine. Most alpha women ain't going to do that. They're going to use the fact that they're helping you to demean you or emasculate you. A feminine woman wouldn't do that. But I digress. Now, I told y'all I was going to share at the very end of the video, the best gems come for those who stay to the end. The only scenario where I would say it's alright to try it out. I still don't recommend it, but it's alright to try it out. And that's this scenario. If the woman makes more money than you. So what I mean by that is, if the alpha female you're dating makes $150,000 and you make $75,000 or something like that, I would say you can give it a shot. It's probably still not going to work because it's already out of order because she's making more money than you. But what you can do is you can make up for that in other areas. Like she's making more money than you, for example, but you're a top 20% man, right? So you're extremely handsome and your body's on point. Every time she goes outside with you, she sees the women looking at you. Every time she's with her friends, they like, oh, girl, damn, that's your man, he fine. She puts your photo in the group chat and all her friends is going crazy like, oh, girl, he fine. That will help you, right? If you can fix, build, and repair things, right? Like you can add stuff to the house. You can build decks. You can build walls like I just built this studio and stuff. You can hang chandeliers and do all that type of stuff. You're a handyman, so she doesn't have to pay for one. That can help you, right? You're going to have to be all these things, by the way. So you're going to have to be handsome with a nice body and a handyman. You're going to have to lay good pipe, right? So you're going to need a 6-inch or more penis size. You're going to have to know how to stroke it and tear that ass up, right? And you're still going to have to be a man that other men respect. Like I said to you guys before, you don't have to have money to be an alpha male. If you come around her father and her father respects you and don't try you, and you come around her brother and he respects you and he don't try you, and when y'all go out in public, men just seem to respect you and not try you, not try to punk you. When you hang with your friends or you hang with her guy friends, they seem to fall into your frame. And you don't seem to be like the dude who gets sent to the store to go and get wraps for the blunt, then yeah, you might can make it work. If you have all of that, and you need all of that, right? So you have all of that, and she makes more money than you, then I would say it's okay to date her. Because in the worst case scenario, if the fact that she makes more money than you eventually comes to bite you in the ass and she decides she wants to get a divorce, you the one who's going to get paid, not her. I know some of y'all might be thinking that's messed up, but women think like that all the time. It's time for men to start playing the game too. If all that wasn't enough for her because she still resented the fact that she makes more money than you, even though in a scenario like that, that's the only thing she does better than you. You have more social status than she does. You're more handy than she is. You lay pipe good. You look as good or better than her because you're a handsome man with a nice body. You get what I'm saying? You got everything else. The only thing she has on you is money. Let's say she decides to break up with you for that reason because she just gets tired of being the breadwinner. Fine. She got to break you off so bad. In the best case scenario, you'll come up with a divorce and she'll have to pay you alimony. You'll gain assets. Right? In the worst case scenario, she won't have to give you anything, but you ain't got to give her nothing either because you weren't the breadwinner, so it doesn't hurt you. That's the only scenario where I would recommend it. But if you're an alpha male by nature, you're not even going to be comfortable with a scenario like that. You're going to want to win in all phases. You're not going to be okay with her making more than you. So you won't really even be able to do that. But that's the only way I would recommend it. So overall, I would say, unless you're in that small percent of guys who, like I said, you have everything else on point, and the only thing she has over you is money, I don't recommend doing it. And since that's such a small portion of guys who can say, hey, you know, I have elite looks and elite body, I can fix, build, and repair stuff, I lay good pipe, I got a good pipe game, and I'm still a leader as a personality. Men still gravitate to me and look up to me and respect me, so I'm okay with her making more money than me. That's the only scenario, and there's a small group of men who would be able to say that. So for 90% of you, I'm going to tell you to just abort before it goes south. So that's my thoughts on that, y'all. I am Alex, and I am out. Peace.